Hello and welcome to the Y11 Parent Information Evening for English. I'm Mr. Smith and I'm here to talk to you today about English language and English literature. So English is split up into two components. English language is the first qualification, and that's going to be split up into two papers. Component 1 will take place on Wednesday, the 18th of May in the morning, and component 2 will take place later on Friday, the 10th of June in the morning. So English language component 1, it consists of prose fiction reading, so reading an extract from a piece of prose, and then they will be answering 5 questions on that. We advise students to spend roughly about an hour on that part of the paper so that they can spend the remaining 45 minutes on their narrative writing. English language component 2, which is the later exam, is also split up into 2 sections. They have to read 2 pieces of non-fiction and answer 6 questions. We advise students to spend about an hour on that as well, and we usually teach students to break it down into 3 20-minute chunks. The transactional writing will be for the students to write 2 different pieces of transactional writing, and we are going to be informed as to what those 2 text types will be. So we will be informing the students in February as soon as we are made aware by the exam board. And we advise that students spend an hour, so half an hour on each text type. This is the suggested revision materials for English language. They can be borrowed from the school. Alternatively, they might have their own copies which they can write in. If they do borrow them from the school, all we ask is that they don't write in the copies that we have. We can also give them lesson resources on Google Classroom and lots of past papers to practice with. English literature is also split up into 2 components. Component 1 will take place on Wednesday, the 25th of May in the morning, and component 2 will also take place later on Wednesday, the 8th of June, also in the morning. Component 1 consists of Macbeth and an Inspector Calls, which are our 2 set texts. Component 2 consists of A Christmas Carol, or for Y11 FEN1, Poetry Anthology, and also an unseen poetry section. So that's the overview of component 1. Again, we recommend that students break the paper down into 2 equal parts. They spend approximately 1 hour on Macbeth, answering 2 questions, and then they spend the remaining hour answering the question on an Inspector Calls. English language component 2 is mainly for Christmas Carol, with the exception of Y11 FEN1. And again, we recommend that they spend 1 hour answering that question, and then they give themselves 1 hour to answer the 2 questions on unseen poetry. These are the revision materials that we recommend. So the CPG workbooks are very good for all texts. The CPG Poetry Anthology Revision Guide. There's lots of online resources as well for revisions, such as BBC Bitesize, LitChart, Seneca. Students should be aware of all of these, but if you want to recommend or advise your son or daughter on revision, then these are good places to start. I hope that's given you all the information that you need. I will, of course, make this PowerPoint available to all of you so that you can access it and have a look at it at your own pace. Thank you very much, and if you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to contact me.